No, it doesn't. Sort of. As long as you have something to hydrate the tortilla after it has cooked. In this controlled experiment, we're going to deliberately underhydrate our masa and overcook our tortilla so we can have a definitive answer to our question. Is it necessary for my tortillas to puff? Let's get our learning apron on and vámonos. Step 1.
Why don't you explain this to me like I am an 8-year-old?
All right.
For this experiment, I will use the tortilla making tools that I feel most comfortable with, which is this non-stick pan from IKEA, my press, and my induction cooker. It's not the most efficient set for making dozens of tortillas in a short time, but it is the perfect hardware for answering our scientific question. If you wish to learn how to make your tortilla puff and why it happens, I made a thorough video on that 2 years ago, and I still stand by 90% of what I taught in it. The one thing that I've learned since is the heat can go much higher. Now, the ideal heat for a puff is anywhere between 100 and 200 degrees Celsius. But under near perfect conditions, I stick between 100 and 140. By the way, I never really mention this often, but I really should. Your Ziploc bag can be washed and reused for dozens of times. This one I've been using for a couple of weeks now. Try it. It's a great way to save some money, especially if you make these often. What we want to do now is get the worst masa conditions we can possibly get without absolutely nerfing our chances for a puff. So instead of adding enough water to our mix, I'm just gonna work it until it's almost to where it should be. This will guarantee I don't get much steam during the cooking process, and therefore, no science. Since we're aiming to mess this up, I think this is a great opportunity to highlight some of the signs you can expect when working with bad masa. One of the first giveaways is gonna be the texture. It will be very powdery, so obviously that doesn't work. It's gonna break apart into pieces very easily. Another sign is the lack of mobility and flexibility it will have. Dehydrated masa will be super tough to knead and press. It will fight you on every fold, every roll, every press. And sometimes you'll even get cramps working with it. Unless you eat bananas every day.
No more cramp for you.
I need 3 banana because monkey never claps.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Arigato.
Now that I've added just enough water to make it beautiful, but not perfect, then I will increase its chances of moisture by actually letting it rest for 30 minutes. Although, this part was actually so not necessary. If anything, this is where the experiment might actually get ruined, because we're trying to decrease the chances of puff. And well, rest increases puff chances. Oh well. The good thing is that this didn't mess with our hydration levels too much. So, after the 30-minute resting period, how is our masa? Perfect. It's totally lacking moisture, which we can tell by the ugly edges of the tortilla. A good moist tortilla will have smooth edges when you press it. This ain't it, and that's just what we need. Now, to decrease our chances for a puff even more, I'm gonna cook this at a medium high. Before I ever had an induction cooker, I always used to check the temp with a few drops of water. If they danced around for a few seconds, then the pan was near perfection. But if they disappeared instantly like this, well, it usually meant it would be too hot, which, if I didn't have a moist enough masa, would equal cracks and then no puff. But we're gonna do this for science. So this is actually great. In goes our tortilla, and on average, I'm going to let them rest on each side for 90 to 120 seconds. In perfect conditions, I would flip it within the first 30 seconds. Then, I'd let it rest until I see some steam building up in the middle of the tortilla, then flip for a third time and get that perfect puff. 3 flips, no more than 3 minutes. But in this case, I do not want a single puff, and this first one did not disappoint. Look at how stiff and ugly this is. I could cry of joy, because our experiment is working. The next one was the same, displaying clear signs of extreme heat and low moisture. But then, things started to go a little bit south. This one somehow gathered enough moisture to puff a little. I think it's because it was thicker than the others, and therefore was able to trap more steam and moisture between the bottom and top layer of the tortilla. Oh well, whatever. It's not a super puff, so this will still help our experiment. Now, because I needed at least 2 good puffy tortillas, I went ahead and rehydrated 2 masa balls and did as I usually would in good conditions. However, because the heat was so high and the pan had so much residual heat on it, they both popped before reaching max puff. So that was great to see and prove, because it's a theory I've long had in my mind. Now I know it's true. Regardless of their pop, these puffed enough to be our good examples that we can use to compare against our non-puffed. Once I had enough test subjects, it was time to get a filler for these tortillas. And for my filler, I chose a simple pork taco recipe that I made on our newly gifted Instant Pot, which, by the way, thank you so much, Uncle and Auntie Blakeney. Alright, so we've waited long enough. It's time to settle this question once and for all. Does the puff matter? The answer is... drumroll please. No, your tortilla does not need to puff, as long as you're able to keep it warm inside a tortilla container like this one, or a good kitchen towel. I sometimes stick my kitchen towel tortillas in a bowl with a lid, and that is the best. Or if you don't have a lid, just flip the bowl upside down to cover the kitchen towel. The point is, you gotta keep them warm and don't let the moisture and hydration escape. I digress. In my scientific findings, I can confidently say that the puff provides 3 things. First, folding flexibility. When a tortilla puffs, steam expands the internal structure, softening the inner layer while allowing the outer layer to firm up just enough for structure. This results in a tortilla that bends and folds with ease, 0 cracks, 0 tears. In contrast, a tortilla that didn't puff often lacks that inner layer of soft steam cooked dough, which means when you fold it, game over. Second, it provides taco structure stability. A puffed, properly hydrated tortilla holds its own under pressure. It's not just soft, it's engineered for support. The gelatinized starches that form when the tortilla puffs help reinforce the internal bonds. This gives it resilience. It'll hold your taco filling longer without collapsing like a sad flower shell on a rainy day. Yes, too much moisture in anything will go soggy, but a puffed tortilla buys you time because it's already moist, therefore it doesn't need to draw up more moisture from the salsas or juices from your meat, which gives you time to build, sauce, admire, and bite. And man, this taco was good. And third, a puffy tortilla gives us ease of reusability. This is where the science of water retention comes into play. Tortillas that puff retain a bit more internal moisture and have a fluffier, less compact structure. So when they cool or go into the fridge, they don't harden up like ancient papyrus scrolls. When reheated, especially with a little steam or a damp cloth, they bounce back to life with some flexibility. Compare that to a non-puffed tortilla, which dries out, stiffens, and needs a full spa day just to become edible again. Puff gives you a second chance.
Okay. Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
So again, does puff matter? No. If you're short on time or just need to feed yourself, it doesn't really matter. But if you want tortillas that bend like Beckham, hold your taco like a pro, and come back to life after a nap in the fridge, then yeah, puff matters. Maybe more than we thought. This being said, who cares? You know, we don't need no stinking puffy tortillas. As long as they taste delicious and can bring taco meat to our taste buds, puff don't matter that much. So that's this experiment. I learned a lot of new things with this research, and I hope you learned them too. And may they help you make the best tortillas you can possibly make. And remember, may your masa always be moist.
Moisture is the essence of wetness, and wetness is the essence of beauty.